This is a bus stop in Copenhagen. And this is also a bus stop in Copenhagen. And this is bus seats in Copenhagen. So this must just be another Copenhagen bus. Buses have yellow dot matrix displays for destination info. So naturally, this bus got it too. And this is the yellow color of buses in Copenhagen. So this must be Copenhagen's only floating bus.
Oh my god, you stupid idiot, that's actually a ferry.
No, and I'll show you why. So join me for a tour of Copenhagen's greatest engineering projects, while I showcase the innovative solution to the city's crippling housing crisis, as we talk about why bus line 991 is just another regular Copenhagen bus. Our journey begins at Orientkaj metro station. Like most other bus routes in the center of Copenhagen, the 991 acts like a feeder service, bringing people closer to the metro. Like every other bus stop, the stop has Movia's amazing timetable poster design that doesn't actually tell you when the bus runs, but instead just gives you a vague frequency, which is very useful for something like this that runs every 45 minutes. And you know, it would be too hard to print the PDF timetable they publish on their website anyway. And because the bus has such a high frequency of every 30 to 45 minutes, on the few sunny days in Denmark, it can actually get so crowded that they will have to reject people getting on board due to safety regulations. And in the distance, our bus appears, operating one of the two other routes to use this very special bus technology. Right, so let's head down to check out the bus stop. The bus stops are generally among the more accessible ones in Copenhagen, but depending on the water levels and the stop slopes, it can be quite steep getting down to the boarding point. As we get to the curb, you can see there are plenty of seating, as well as a small shelter for rainy days. There's also a map of local bus, metro, S-train and regional train services in central Copenhagen. Like every other bus service in Copenhagen, payment is done on board the bus. Also note how good this bus stop is integrated with the metro station. I mean, it's basically right next to it. Right, let's head on board the bus. Like every other bus in Copenhagen, you're free to bring your bike free of charge on board. Today, we'll be catching line 991, bound for Teglholmen. Just like any other bus in the city, you tap your rejsekort once you enter the bus, or show your ticket or commuter pass to an inspector upon request. The layout is a little strange for a bus, but the seats are the same as on any other bus in Copenhagen, and you can grab any seat you'd like. Our bus departs Orientkaj on time. And as we sail past the prettiest part of the route, let's take a closer look at the route map of line 991. Line 991 is one of 3 bus routes serving the harbour area. Leaving from Orientkaj, the route goes to Refshaleøen, Nordre Toldbod, skipping the ghost station at Holmen Nord, continuing south towards the Royal Library and Islands Brygge, before terminating in the south at Teglholmen. Line 992 is exactly the same as 991, just northbound, and line 993 is a special event shuttle that just connects the stops at Nyhavn and the Opera. On our way to our first stop, we experienced some quite bumpy roads. That's why this bus model has great suspension. And as we approach Refshaleøen, our first stop, we can catch a glimpse of the bus depot. It's one of the most highly advanced bus depots in Denmark, using hidden dome technology to protect the buses from the rain. But that's not the only thing Refshaleøen is known for. It's also the natural habitat of the rare Nordic human mammal species that rarely ventures outside of their IKEA-furnished homes. But when the sun's out, They flock to here to sit in some cheap chairs and gather some rare vitamin D despite the 10-degree weather and strong winds. Next up, and just like on any other regular bus route, we get stuck in traffic. As the northbound bus is a bit late, we have to wait for it to clear the bus stop. And with the bus stop cleared, we can now proceed. And similar to the roads being full and having to put some of the bus routes like ours on water, the same applies to housing in Copenhagen, where they have applied an innovative solution to just make houses float in the harbour. It's basically free real estate. However, not everyone is happy. The private road parking companies are not happy with car traffic being moved to other types of roads, so they have started running their own floating parking lots. As we depart for our next stop, we will be skipping the temporarily closed Holmen Nord. It was closed in 2020 due to safety concerns with access, and instead of improving access to the stop or moving it, it has just been temporarily closed for now almost 5 years. So I guess that is one loophole to cut public transit spending without going through the legal process. On our way through the harbour, we also pass by the headquarters of one of Denmark's largest and most influential companies worldwide. But clearly they couldn't afford to hire an architect with access to more than one shape. It's also possible to see the headquarters of the Danish royal family from our bus trip, which is probably more known than Maersk. And soon we pass by the greatest bridge ever built across the Copenhagen harbour. A testament to great design is the need for temporary traffic barriers to be permanently installed. But we can forgive some flaws now the bridge has opened completely on time, on budget, with no issues whatsoever. I mean, it's just a simple pedestrian bridge, what could have gone wrong? We continue to drive past the Danish National Stock Exchange, where the historic building it's housed in recently burned down due to inflation getting too hot. Anyway, enough about this tourist nonsense. Let me show you why this is a bus, starting well with the seats. They are the same as on quite a few of Copenhagen's other buses. They are just as you'd expect, a bit on the hard end, but there is some padding. And below, you'll find a life vest, in case of evacuation during an average Danish thunderstorm. The bus has capacity for about 80 passengers, with all the seating being located towards the back. There's also a large journey information display using the same software as on every other bus. We continue sailing south, passing by the Black Diamond. And no, it's not the headquarters of a big oil firm. It's actually the Royal Library, because books are more important than black diamonds, or something. As we head south, we change much of the cityscape with famous landmarks instead for residential areas. This part being largely former industrial harbour sites, you can now pay top rental prices to live in a grain silo. Another thing I like is how this temporary closure of the Holmen Nord stop is shown as a temporary change on the information displays, which has been there for 5 years. And as we are now coming up on line 991's final stop, it's time to get ready to get off the bus. So, have you been convinced yet that this is a bus? Well, I certainly have. It's got all the same features and interior as a bus. The stops are basically like a bus stop. Delivery is the same as a bus. It's even electric, like all other new buses in Copenhagen. And the transit agency even calls this the harbour bus. And even normal bus fares apply on the route, setting you back 24 kroner for a one-way ride. And here we are at Teglholmen, a little behind schedule after a journey time of about an hour and 20 minutes. Thank you so much for joining me on this trip, and if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And I'd just like to say Happy April Fools if you hadn't realized this already. So this was my little April Fools video this year, and everything mentioned in this video should be treated as solid fact. Thanks for watching.